Imagine two people starting at the same point in life, both earning decent incomes. One spends their salary on bills, rent, and essentials. The other invests part of their income into stocks, real estate, or even a small business. Fast forward 20 years. The first is still working paycheck to paycheck, while the second has seen their wealth multiply several times over. This isn't a rare story. It's the defining narrative of our age. Across the globe, the rich are not just maintaining their wealth. They're accelerating it at a pace the middle class and working poor cannot match. The question is, why does wealth seem to concentrate at the very top? 1. The power of capital over wages. The first and most critical reason lies in the difference between working for money and having money work for you. For the majority of people, income comes from wages. Salaries typically grow at 2 to 4% a year, barely keeping up with inflation. The wealthy, however, rely on capital assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, and businesses. These assets historically generate returns of 7 to 10% annually. This difference may sound small, but it's massive over time. Someone whose wealth compounds at 8% will double their fortune roughly every 9 years. A salaried worker, meanwhile, may see their income rise slowly, while costs of living eat away at the gains. 2. Compounding, the silent wealth multiplier. Albert Einstein once called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. Wealthy individuals and families understand this principle intimately. When investments yield profits, the rich reinvest those profits, allowing their money to snowball. Middle and lower income groups rarely get the chance to reinvest because most of their earnings go to housing, food, healthcare, and debt. Over decades, compounding transforms modest fortunes into empires of wealth, creating the illusion that the rich are pulling away faster than everyone else, which, in fact, they are. 3. Exclusive access to investments. Not all investment opportunities are created equal. While the average person might invest in index funds or save in a retirement account, the rich have access to private equity funds that buy and grow companies, hedge funds that bet on complex global trends, offshore accounts and trusts that protect and grow wealth tax efficiently, luxury real estate portfolios across multiple countries. These vehicles often deliver higher returns than public markets and are insulated from risks faced by small investors. Simply put, the wealthy aren't just playing the same game, they're playing a different game entirely. 4. Tax advantages tilt the field. In most countries, tax systems favor wealth accumulation. Capital gains, profits from selling stocks or property, are often taxed at lower rates than salaries. Many wealthy individuals can structure their income in ways that minimize taxable exposure. Multinational corporations and billionaires use tax havens and loopholes to shield billions, while ordinary citizens must pay standard income taxes. As a result, a billionaire might legally pay a lower effective tax rate than a teacher or nurse. This creates a feedback loop where wealth not only grows faster, but is also preserved more effectively. 5. Technology as a wealth engine. The digital revolution has created an entirely new class of super rich. Think of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Mark Zuckerberg, individuals whose fortunes ballooned because technology is infinitely scalable. Once a digital product, like software, social media platforms, or AI tools, is built, it can be distributed to billions with minimal cost. This scalability allows tech founders and investors to accumulate unprecedented levels of wealth in short periods. Meanwhile, technology often disrupts traditional jobs, leaving many workers displaced, underpaid, or reliant on the gig economy. The same tools that enrich billionaires can widen inequality. 6. Ownership of scarce and appreciating assets. The wealthy understand scarcity. They invest in assets that are limited in supply, such as real estate in major global cities, blue-chip art and collectibles, gold and digital assets like Bitcoin. As populations grow and demand for these assets rises, their values surge. Those who already own them, usually the wealthy, benefit most. For example, home ownership rates among young adults have declined in many countries. while wealthy individuals and corporations scoop up properties, turning housing into a wealth extraction tool rather than just shelter. 7. Influence and policy shaping. Wealth also buys power and influence. Lobbying, campaign contributions, and direct access to lawmakers mean that policies are often written in ways that protect the interests of the wealthy. Regulations around banking, finance, and taxation frequently tilt in favor of corporations and investors. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. The wealthy influence policy to protect their wealth, which in turn allows them to accumulate even more wealth. 8. Economic crises favor the wealthy. During downturns, whether recessions, inflation spikes, or pandemics, ordinary workers often lose jobs, income, or savings. But crises can be opportunities for the rich. They buy distressed assets, real estate, companies, stocks, at bargain prices. Governments frequently step in with bailouts, subsidies, and stimulus that disproportionately benefit large corporations. A striking example came during the COVID-19 pandemic. While millions lost livelihoods, billionaire wealth surged as tech stocks and digital platforms boomed. 9. Globalization and scale. The wealthy benefit from globalization in ways ordinary workers rarely do. Companies can sell to billions across borders, increasing profits exponentially. Labor outsourcing and supply chain efficiencies boost corporate margins, but suppress wages in developed countries. For the rich, globalization means bigger markets and higher returns. For many workers, it has meant stagnant wages and declining job security. The bigger picture. Why inequality matters. This widening wealth gap isn't just an abstract economic issue. It has profound social, political, and cultural consequences. When the rich grow disproportionately richer, economic mobility declines, making it harder for people to climb the social ladder. Housing, education, and healthcare become less affordable for ordinary families. Democratic systems weaken as concentrated wealth translates to concentrated power. If left unchecked, the cycle of inequality risks creating societies divided sharply between the ultra-wealthy and everyone else. Conclusion: where do we go from here? The rich are becoming richer because they hold the keys to the most powerful drivers of wealth: capital, compounding, access, influence, and scarce assets. Meanwhile, the rest are caught in cycles of rising costs, stagnant wages, and limited opportunities to grow wealth. But here's the important part. Understanding the mechanisms is the first step to breaking the cycle. By learning how capital works, leveraging compounding even on a small scale, demanding fairer tax policies, and investing wisely, ordinary people can start building their own paths toward financial resilience. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this accelerating wealth divide can be fixed? Or is it an inevitable feature of capitalism?